Hey everyone, Dave here from Philly Tech Entrepreneurs. I'm here with Christian. Christian is a young entrepreneur that I was fortunate enough to meet at our last meetup that we had in August. Christian was raised in an immigrant household in Philly, and he has created his own connections, learned how to code in just a couple of years, is starting his own venture called SideJawn. So we're going to get into all about his background, this concept that he's working on, a bit about AI as well. Christian, how you doing today?
Living the dream. How are you?
I'm good, man. We like had this long conversation before about how to, properly pronounce your last name, Iosif, and then, I did the intro and I just totally forgot to even say it. Um,
No, yeah, that's the Romanian side. People think it's an L. Please, it's an I promise.
I gotcha. Cool, man. So tell us a little bit about your, upbringing. It's definitely unique. You've already kind of, mentioned the Romanian side, and kind of what, growing up in Philly and sort of what brought you here.
Yeah, both of my parents are immigrants. My mom is Ecuadorian and my dad obviously Romanian. And they met in New York. We moved to Philly, and I pretty much grew up here. I have a lot of first generation friends. All of their parents are immigrants as too. And I went to Central High School here in Philly, so there's a lot of like first gen students going there, and a lot of smart people going there too. And I was really fortunate to meet all those people there. Um, yeah, growing up with my family was pretty hard. We grew up relatively poor, and but my mom and my dad had good instincts on them. They put me through school, and I came out the other side, learning how to code, doing the things that I need to do to try and go up in the world.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you kind of sharing a bit about your background and what it was like. I have a sort of unfounded, no quantitative data or anything, but always just feeling that immigrants kind of often make good entrepreneurs. They, often are like very hardworking, great values. And in a lot of other countries, like people, I don't know, I think small businesses have like a bit of a larger presence than they do in the US. Like people are kind of running stores and shops and things like that. And in the US, like larger conglomerates have kind of taken over a lot of the ecosystem for business. So it's less likely maybe for someone who's growing up in the US to like get some of that small business exposure. Obviously, you know much more about the immigrant community than I do. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, no, I completely agree. And actually, that really plays into why I'm working on SideJawn. I feel like there's not enough people that are working on the projects that they care about and building the businesses that they want to build. And I think there are too many resources here for us not to take advantage of them. And especially now with all the AI tools that are coming out, it's way easier to provide value to potential customers with all of these tools that are making our lives easier. So
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
think now's
Well,
the time to start moving on to that.
sounds good. Yeah. Normally I do the segues here, but I'm happy with you taking control. And so let's talk about SideJawn. You mentioned this project to me when we were speaking at the meetup, but I don't want to be the one to describe it. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on, kind of where you're at in the journey and where you see it going.
Yeah. So SideJawn came out of the need of connecting early stage entrepreneurs together. Like I said, people want to work on the projects that they think up and they don't have a team. And so I recently launched SideJawn. It's been about 3 months now. And it's about I got over like 2,000 visits in the past couple months and
Awesome.
like an 11% conversion rate for signups. Yeah, it's been going pretty well. I'm getting some projects onto the platform, and it's made to help people build their founding teams. So if you are an early stage entrepreneur and you have a project, you'll post it online and recruit specific roles that you're looking for, and it's going pretty well. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, one of the harder things is kind of like building that founding team. You have people with various skill sets. Some people, they have the idea, but maybe they're not a developer, an engineer. They can't take it to life. On the other hand, I've worked with lots of developers who are excellent coders, but just don't really have a problem that they want to solve or an industry. So it's great that you're kind of out there trying to build, a bridge between the two of those. And of course, our community, Affiliate Tech Entrepreneurs, has lots of people that, could benefit from that. So happy to kind of get it out there. Obviously, want to mention also that John is spelt in the sort of the Philly way here. So it's Jawn, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a SideJawn.io, because all new businesses start with a SideJawn.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. You're getting some traffic, you're getting some conversions, which is awesome. The early days are always the hardest, getting eyeballs on it. What are some of the things that you've done just to try to kind of introduce it into the world?
Yeah, I've been posting on Reddit. I have been essentially scouting the posts where people are like, I can't find a team. I don't know what to do. And so a lot of those people actually are interested in looking at SideJawn. And actually, I'm pretty involved in the communities here in Philly. So I volunteer at Philly Startup Leaders, and I help them with the website. I am also an ambassador at a venture cafe, and I help them with the connecting role. And so if I meet somebody who needs this other person, let's say, I don't know, a businessman looking for a developer, then I can connect the two of them. And honestly, that's really just the manual process of what I'm currently doing with SideJawn. So being involved in those communities, I meet a lot of people and I get to hear about the problems that early stage entrepreneurs are having. And they are also interested in SideJawn as well. I'm having this cold start problem where I need more projects on there, and getting it in front of people has been a very manual process so far. And honestly, I'm working on I'm designing some collaboration events with these communities as well, so definitely be on the lookout for those. I think SideJawn is going to grow quite a bit.
For sure, man. We very hopeful about that. Your point about kind of getting it involved in the communities. I'll be honest, I've never been involved in a lot of communities. I work with a remote team, and a lot of years I was honestly traveling, so I just was never really in one place long enough to kind of get involved in the community. PTE is kind of the first one. Great to have you with us, someone with your experience kind of working in PSL and Venture Cafe, and to be able to kind of bring some of those insights and cross promotion with what we're doing. I know that SideJawn has an AI component, and you're a big proponent of kind of, working with AI tools. Kind of, tell us a little bit about how AI is working within SideJawn and just generally what you see in that space.
Yeah, so right now, all you can do is post a project and apply to projects, and have a profile to display all of your experience. I actually want to build features that my users actually need. And so I have this idea. I'm not completely sure if it'll actually work, but I want to leverage generative AI to automate the Startup Accelerator program. So a lot of Startup Accelerator programs are very similar. And, it's maybe a 60-day, a 90-day program. You have speakers, you have information being, essentially injected into your brain. And I think that process can be completely automated with generative AI. And so you'll have this digital assistant that will be directing the program, and you'll go through this process of this accelerator program completely automated. As many people, it makes it more accessible for a lot of entrepreneurs. And that's going to be phase two of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I love it because it's nice to be able to, potentially provide the foundation where entrepreneurs are connecting with each other, maybe building founding teams. But then if you actually become maybe like the ecosystem in which they work, they get educated, they get accelerated, you can extend like the lifetime of their relationship with SideJawn, and obviously fits in the business model and things like that. So super cool. Definitely, and if you haven't already done this already, I would say, one of the things that I'm always interested in is basically getting, recommendations from AI about, who we should be talking with and what projects are relevant to us, right? Like I see you're smiling because you're probably already like thinking about it, already done it. But if I look at like PTE for an example, every day like people sign up, they post an introduction, and I just think about, man, I mean, how many people maybe signed up like a month ago that are not seeing that, but then like that would be really relevant to them because maybe they have a similar background or a shared interest, or they went to the same college or whatever it is, and kind of like, bridging some of those connections. And I could see how that would work with SideJawn as well, where you could say, hey, Dave is a really good fit. You need a CMO and he has the experience you're looking for, or this is a project that someone had in a space you're interested in. Is that also some stuff that you're looking to kind of put into SideJawn?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's that sounds very very ideal, I think. And I think it's very possible too, even where AI currently is. I don't think it necessarily needs to be any better to be able to achieve what you're talking about. I think we just need to implement it in a different way. And yeah, that's exactly the direction that I'm going in. I really just want to make it easier for people to build the things they want to build. So whatever it is that they need, that's something that I'll be building. And if the current state of SideJawn isn't actually solving that problem for a lot of people, then I'll pivot, and it's perfectly fine because this is really what I'm passionate about.
That's cool. Yeah, love the mission, and love to be able to promote it more within the community, which is why it's great that we have you kind of on this show today. For people that want to learn more about you, SideJawn, how's the best way to kind of get in touch?
Yeah, so it's SideJawn, SideJawn.io. You can also email me at my last name dot my first name. It's iosif.christian@sidejawn.io. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm around. I'll talk to you. I'll listen to your problems. I would love to hear from the community.
Perfect. You're also in our Slack channel as well. So if anybody wants to DM you there, another way to kind of get in touch. Thanks so much for being on the show, Christian, sharing a little about SideJawn. Hope to catch you at a future meetup.
Sounds good. Thanks, Abe.